I said, well, to keep it all crispy, you have to pare it thin. All right, we're about to
Didn't
start.
have to be here with me, so I do want to say thanks again, and I'm going to try to get my drummer because he's been waiting all night for this moment just to play. America, sweet America, make our gold refined till our success be nobleness and oh, spacious sky. I'm going to purple mountain, yeah, man is dead. America, I love you, America. Well, God shed His grace on thee. Yes, you ought to love Him because He crowned our good. He told me He would. Said it, brotherhood.
Makes you want to watch Ray again.
Fuck that movie.
Oh, my mom and dad wouldn't want you to hear you say that. They love that film. They saw Ray
I won't
Charles.
say around your parents, but I definitely will say fuck that movie. That movie never moved me, not once. Not that James Fox was a bad Ray Charles. He was a good Ray Charles, but damn it, I don't know. There was something that just didn't feel right about Ray
Oh,
when I
that's it.
watched
No,
it.
no, that's interesting. It's okay to be honest. We have to do a stream about musical biographies because I've seen some musical biographies that I haven't been
I watched it
satisfied.
one time, and that was one time, and I couldn't even get into it. I guess because the way I was framed, it was very boring. But then I saw a YouTube channel do a video about some of the documentaries, and strangely enough, they talked about Ray, and there was something wrong with that movie, and I knew why. At that point, I knew why I didn't like it.
Bless you.
Bless you. I knew why I didn't like it because it's the way how the person chose to write it. But good evening, UN Space Seawolf Squadron. This is your Welcome in the Wolf Tent. I'm your werewolf tonight. We are celebrating the birth of a nation, which is as our country when we won our independence from the British. We're talking about July the 4th, everybody, or the 4th of July, or Independence Day. Take your pick. They're all valid. And I've been trying my best to keep it together because, man, that music, man, Ray Charles just brings out the American in me. Almost. Sorry,
That's okay.
I get a little emotional
That's
when it
cool.
comes to
Mm.
I get a little emotional when it comes to my country and all the achievements it made over the years and all the things that we've done, what we accomplished. Those who weren't alive or didn't live long enough to see these accomplishments or didn't, excuse me. This is something I've been thinking about all throughout this year, just how far we've come so far. That sounded redundant, but whatever. I'm just excuse me. Start saying by giving a warm welcome to our returning biggest fan, Child of the Flower. She's here, wishing our lovely land a happy birthday.
Oh, welcome back.
Being the luckiest woman or one of the luckiest individuals on the planet to say that today is her birthday.
Yeah.
Your birthday is on the 4th of July.
Nice. Happy
July.
birthday.
Yes.
Nice.
Wow.
Should have named you Freedom. Wait, what's the female word for freedom? Freema. 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 She said in the video that was done while Ray Charles was dying. Probably so. I mean, it probably was, but let's introduce our round table, shall we? Start with the lovely. Ooh, wow, I cannot talk. The lovely Leia Valet plus size.
Good evening, everyone. And this is Leia Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor, where we're going to have a discussion about the birthday of this country and how it's portrayed in film, television, movies, comic books. This should be a fun, interesting conversation. I know I'm going to make reference to, and you know this was coming, Captain America, because this is also Steve Rogers' birthday. Yes, I keep track. And some other films. So for all of you who are either enjoying your barbecue or you had barbecue or you're just sitting there chilling, I thank you for coming, and we hope you enjoy our program.
We have the Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings, YouTube viewers of my fellow Final Fantasy fans. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12, and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. And today, we are back with another episode of The Real Millennials, this time talking about Independence Day, as this is our Independence Day special of the UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. So please sit back and enjoy.
Or we also talk about American fiction, but who's also here to talk about that kind of fiction as well, but none other than the humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Greetings, everyone, and greetings, people watching this as a video that comes across the recommends. I am Humble Marty, and I rate things.
Now, our famous friend, the Hound of Sardonic Powell, won't be able to speak because he is having trouble on his end. Him and his family are doing a little shindig, and their location, screw that location, it's screwing us. So I'll have to speak for him. The Hound of the Sardonic Powell. Good evening, morning, or afternoon, everyone. It's the Hound of the Sardonic Powell, and welcome to the Real Millennials Independence Day episode where we'll go over America's portrayal in fiction throughout the years, not to mention what we appreciate about our country in spite of some of its flaws. How was that?
Dom, I hope you're happy. Your wolf is now taking control of your voice. This is going to be interesting.
Never sit in a room with an impressionist.
Oh, Dom.
Oh, you want to try your hand at impressions, Mom Humble? Take it away. Go ahead. Moment of truth now. Go on. Do it. Let's do it. Let's go.
Good evening, morning, or afternoon, everyone. This is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell, and welcome to the Real Millennials Independence Day episode, where we'll go over America's portrayal in fiction throughout the years, not to mention what we appreciate about our country in spite of its flaws.
Where the hell is he
All right,
Welsh?
Humble. Yeah, she.
That sounds.
I just went with the closest voice I could do. I'm not that good at impressions. I'm good at making them really bad, though.
Almost sounds like Yisma.
Yeah.
Oh, and
It wasn't
good
too
news.
bad.
And good news. The famous moment in our previous stream is going to be up soon on the channel, so you guys can feast off of that entertainment.
Oh crud!
Don't come on, man. This is not the most embarrassing thing that happened to you on the stream.
Which one?
Oh. Why do you torture?
I
Too
Kyle
mean
was
to
like
count.
writing
that?
it.
Why do you torture Final like that? You just torture him.
He ain't the only one. He ain't the only one.
Yes, I
He is
know.
not the
Just
only
prepare
one.
for the worst.
It ain't that bad. It's something that we always gonna laugh at because it's us.
Or cringe.
Yes.
More cringe, she says. Hey, you're the one with the comedic timing. Anyways, since she brought up the captain, there you go, Leia. Get it out your
Oh,
system
Damn
real
it!
fast. Let's just get it out of her system real fast. Drain out her bone marrow. Every inch of it. Every inch of it. There
See,
you go.
I had my thoughts together.
There's your pancakes right there in a two-way split. I found love on a two-way street
Good Lord.
and
No,
lost it between a highway. Pump, 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 pump it up. Pump, pump,
Oh, good.
pump, 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 pump it up.
I done got him
Mr.
started.
Lovin' Lovin'.
Oh,
Mr. Lovin'
Yes.
Lovin'. Mr. Lovin' Lovin'. Girl, Mr. Lovin' Lovin'.
Would
They
you-
call me Mr. Bombastic, Mr.
I gotta get my-
Fantastic. She says I'm a
I gotta get my
romantic,
thought-
Mr. Fantastic. She calls me a
gotta-
romantic. I'm
Oh,
too
Lord.
sexy for my shirt. Too sexy
God
for
damn
my
it!
shirt.
That
So
song.
sexy it is. What is
I
love?
hate that song.
Baby,
I got
don't
to get
hurt
my
me. Don't hurt me no more.
Dom, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. That's Wolf that's distracted me with the. I gotta try to get my thoughts together.
See, damn it,
Told you I'm
Wolf.
weak to this weak to this. This is weakness. See, Final's got his back his spell book.
Hey, I had to get
Okay,
out
now
of
he's
this.
done.
Yes.
Thank you, Marty.
Getting back on
Whoop.
track, who wants to go
Getting
first
things
over
back on track.
America's
Who wants-
America's portrayal in fiction?
I'll pay tribute. Hey, at least Child of Fire loved it.
Yeah, you should be so proud, Wolf.
I think what really influenced me, or rather, what really got me not necessarily got me. What really contributed to my love of this country is the fact that we have so many great legends like John Henry and Paul Bunyan, Pecos Bill, all the American tall tales, Johnny Appleseed, just these stories that really show the American will and ingenuity and everything that there is that makes us American, no matter what color we ride or what belief we take a stand on, you know.
Mhm.
Of course, there's other side material that I found, like Swamp Angel, which probably was made by somebody who was probably influenced by American Tall Tales, because Swamp Angel is really, for a children's book, it was written to be like a straight up tall tale. I mean, it's got everything. It's an American Southern woman. She's nearly Paul Bunyan's height, and she goes into a big old tussle with a big old bear, a big old American black bear, mind you. And just everything in her neck of the woods is just large. Do y'all want me to elaborate more?
Go on.
I mean, this broad fought this bear into a lake, the largest lake that they say as they speak, and she drank it dry to escape from it, because the bear had her pinned down underneath, drowning her. Right? Negro, she drunk it all. It was still ready to go. Then they fought against the world's largest tree. This tree is bigger than any other redwood tree that you would know of.
Oh.
Okay. In said tree was one of the largest beehives. Now I'm still trying to figure this one out as a kid. How that beehive gonna be that big with that many bees? And I'm wondering, are the bees big too? Because that was the bear's ultimate downfall. The bear tried to eat the honey from the hive. He ended up crushing his own head when they knocked down the largest tree in America. Spoilers to an old book from the 90s. Still an amazing story though.
Mm-hmm.
Did I also mention that she's a redhead? She's a redhead. Wild and free. And she wilded out on that bear because that bear was a nuisance. Child of flower. Well, in her case, a bear can be wrestled with.
A bear and lived.
Mm-hmm. But no, really, going back to our traditional American folklore, the fact that there's a man that built mountains just by wrestling with his blue ox is amazing. The fact that a man tried to heal a country with just an apple seed, you know, giving them alternatives to eat, or a black man, you know, shaping America through the railway system to show that black people can make it through anything, just in spite of them being recently freed from slavery, being emancipated. That is, you know, that's something that we should be always remind ourselves of, to always read again, to always tell our children. When was the last time we ever had a John Henry movie or John Henry animated?
I don't know why they don't make it. I've always liked that story. I've always liked that story since I was a kid, and that's a good question, Wolf. Since they're so desperate for adversity, why not do the story of John Henry?
One thing that always that was always a constant with those stories too: sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Each and every one of them sacrificed. Two of them, their lives. One of them, their job. Another one, he just disappeared and became a legend in the stars. I'm talking about Pecos Bill, by the way.
Mm.
Then again, I'm probably telling you guys the abridged endings. You know, because over time, those stories, the many times those stories was retold, they had to give them a more kid-friendly version or an alternate take. Now, the Disney version of John Henry, that that driller, it died, but in the book it succeeded. Though John Henry lived on a martyr, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
The fact of the matter is, one thing I will say about that story is the fact that even though he failed, he still won because he
Oh.
helped, because he still continued to push our black people to believe, our own people.
It was man versus machine in the story of Humboldt. It was a railway. He was trying to prove that he could build like a train, or that he could build railroad tracks a way just as good or even better than this train. And I didn't
The
mean
fact he was
yeah,
trying to keep Gandon dancing alive, basically,
yeah,
because he was a
yeah.
Gandhi dancer. Yes, and Gandhi dancers were the backbone of fixing, building, and maintaining tracks on the railway. So one thing that was another constant about these stories was the fact that it was also a depressing time where their profession was going to be eroded due to machinery. Paul Bunyan, for example, all he can do is chop down trees with an axe. Now, granted, we still chop down trees with axes, but it was said that the brand new machine, which was a saw, the electric saw, is what done them in the profession, because the lumberjacks thought that the machine was going to take their jobs away. And here we are now, lumberjacks using those machines and still using axes. So there was a Don has something to say. No, unfortunately, I remember reading American Fables and Tall Tales as a kid. Growing up to this day, it remains one of my favorite works of fiction for its characters, real and otherwise, and why they endure for centuries due to how timeless they are. That's correct. That's correct, Don. So never let Disney touch this story since a redhead won't cast her.
Well, yeah.
Talk about Swamp Angel.
No,
Yes.
they'd probably go for Lizzo.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
boy.
no.
Don't even get me started on that. But anyway.
Oh God, no. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that behemoth fight a bear. But no,
it would end up being a whole bunch of different jokes that I think we'll probably not say here.
what's funny is also in the case of Johnny Appleseed,
Brer
he
Rabbit.
Oh yeah.
Don posted in the private chat.
Let's not forget Brer Rabbit.
Song of the South, yes.
Oh yeah, Brer Rabbit. But what was another thing about the sacrifice? Johnny Appleseed dying doing what he loves, and now he accomplished it. Heaven wanted him. God wanted him. He passed away. He passed it to heaven, as per the animation. I don't remember reading the original story, mind you.
Yeah, the original story, the apples he was playing weren't very good, but they made for good alcoholic beverages.
Like good old cider. But here's another thing that I remember in my childhood. Other children's story that might as well be American Tall Tales, like Lucy. I think what's his name again? The one that had the steam engine, the steam shovel. Manford. Don, you might know. You know who I'm talking about, right? That's a tall tale in itself. The steam shovel. Y'all remember the steam shovel?
I do. I just can't think of the name of the character.
I can't even remember that either.
Not the one with the blue ox, right?
That's Paul Bunyan.
Okay,
my brain's stuck on Fearsome Critters.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
I'm talking about like later children's books, like late, like Curious George, Corduroy.
Yeah, I love Curious George.
But what was his
The
name?
Little Engine That Could.
Oh, that's another good American tale too. I'm gonna say it right now. I don't care what anybody think. Anybody can argue with me, otherwise they can disagree with me. I'm calling it an American Tall Tale. Little Asian that could, that's Tall Tale right there, and he succeeded.
John Henry.
We were just talking about him earlier.
Yeah, we already talked about him.
Oh yeah, we already did. Yeah.
I'm looking it up. Hang tight. I'm looking it up.
Little
Mike
Asian
Mulligan
could,
and his
yes.
steam shovel. Mike Mulligan and the steam shovel. That's also another. That's one thing I would call an American tall tale or a modern American tale too, where Mulligan is like this good-hearted, hard-working steam show operator. I forgot the name of the steam show because she had a name too. Oh, Virginia Lee. That's her name, Virginia Lee. And they will always go around making ditches and all manner of placements for the homes and houses and buildings. And his conflict was when it came down to it, the new hotness starts showing up. You feel me? The new hotness, which was the more, I believe they were electric or gas powered steam shovels. Thank you, Don. Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel. That's right. He came in a little late. Oh no, he came in right on time actually. What's up, William? But no, yeah, I remember it. I'm reminiscing on children's stories I used to read that to this day now I'm looking at as more of American stories now to me. And the fact that he and Virginia were doing their best to stay relevant or still try to get work while the brand new steam shovels are taking all the jobs. They went to they found work in this one town and was building this one dish for a building for something. I forgot what it was. It was meant for something. The conflict was modern gasoline, electric, and diesel power. So thank you, Dom. You remember that way more than I do. And so the memory flood started happening. I remember now. It's like, yeah, it was a gas powered, an electric, and a diesel powered steam shovels that replaced Mulligan and his steam shovel. And you want to know what was really dark? Despite it being a children's book, y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
At some point during the story, they discovered a steam shovel graveyard.
Oh.
Even the cartoon depicted the steam shovels as dead. Like, Jesus Christ, they went extreme. They were shocked too, both Mulligan and Virginia, but man, like, whoa, they went there, guys. They went there.
Mm-hmm.
This is reminding me of the Blurry Little Toaster. Jesus Christ, worthless. Y'all remember Blurry Little Toaster?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's nightmare fuel for kids.
It's ruined thoroughly, yet I still call that an American movie too. And so, hang on, I'm gonna bring up the image.
Samulai. Samulai's in the live chat. How you doing?
Oh, for once? It's
Yes.
been a long time since we saw him. Hey man, how you been?
I remember it all too well. Modern creators think kids can't handle mature themes.
That's correct, Dom.
That's gonna be that is correct. That's pretty much just gonna be a whole other video altogether, though.
The thing that modern creators forget is how you have to handle the mature themes. When you're trying to tell them to kids, it's kind of like trying to tell someone why their dog died.
You ain't wrong. I'm about to pull up the image real fast.
Oh crud!
See that?
Oh crud! I see it.
That was something, and they animated that in the HBO animation too, because they
even unintentionally got one of the guys to dab on the graveyard.
No, that's
yeah, I know it's supposed to be something else, but I'm not being very alert today.
I'm like, wait, what? Oh, that's Mulligan.
Mm.
Mulligan shielding his eyes away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! If you see the animated short, there's a scene where they're where they're alone. I think they're alone in the junkyard,
Mm-hmm.
and Mulligan, Don might come back. Mulligan is singing, nobody wants us anymore. It's heartbreaking. It's like
Ouch.
it makes me tear up every time. So Don had also that was some of my takes on American fiction right there. But Don had led us to a frame of reference to talk about, and I know you guys have a lot to talk about too. So we're gonna get the show on the road. But here is the all the tropes wiki page of Eagle Land. Apparently, a trope in fictional storytelling. By the quote, "The Americans are our best friends, whether we like it or not." Canadian politician Robert Norman Thompson, quoted by Peter C. Newman, in Home Country, People, Places, and Power Politics. Now, the gist of it is when viewed from the outside or sometimes from the inside, the United States of America comes in different flavors. Flavor one, America fuck yeah, a country full of proud patriots who reside in a nearly utopian society, a land of progress, wealth, and luck, where people are able to leave the past behind to make new lives for themselves. In short, this is the flavor that embodies the American dream, sometimes based on American media during the 50s, which portrayed the United States of America as a homey, tradition sticking, almost saccharine place built on nuclear families, family values, love, and old fashioned simple mindsets. Flavor
Sound
two,
familiar? Captain
Mm-hmm.
America.
getting there, more on that later. Flavor fucking fireworks. And
Why
y'all
not?
gotta
It's
play y'all
Independence Day.
and y'all gotta play y'all motherfucking Mexican music. I love y'all.
Oh
I love
God.
y'all music. But now y'all wanna play that shit too? Oh, this is gonna be the night, guys. Flavor 2. Yeah, fuck America. A wretched country full of ignorant assholes who got lucky and like to hide behind their inflated military budget. Americans come into your country either as tourists or invaders, thinking that they own the place and that they rightfully deserve everything. Not only are they less intelligent and less cultured than you, but they always have the gall to look down and patronize you, while proudly waving around the little flags which they carry around everywhere. They're either fat, with a diet solely consists of fast food and TV dinners, moral guardians, trigger happy cowboys from the deep south, or shameless anorexic rich bitches from Hollywood, California. Oh, and they suck at geography. Always. Mixed flavor. Y'all ready for this one?
Go for it.
Aspiring to complexity and objectiveness, some present the United States less simplistically. Others, wow, that's a typo. Other series just decide to split the difference, treating America as the boisterous bruiser of nations, rude, crude, clueless, obnoxious, and vaguely psychotic, but still good natured beneath it all. A famous Winston Churchill quote sums this portrayal: "You can always count on Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else."
Sounds
This
like
trope,
Escape from New York. Well, not Escape from New York. What was that one? Trouble in Little China?
Big Trouble in Little China and
Big
Escaping
Trouble in Little China.
both,
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
both. This trope is about outsiders looking at the U.S. So, wow, that is okay.
This
Okay,
trope is all about outsiders looking at the US, so some information here might be
okay.
heavily stereotyped
Thank you
and
for helping
culturally
me out with that.
offensive to actual Americans. If you happen to see a work that portrays the United States of America or America as a whole as Flavor 2, but it's always an American production, That's a case of cultural cringe. Likewise, an American indulging in flavor 1 is merely a case of creator provincialism. If I'm saying it right, provincialism. If the work in question doesn't delve into judgment but refers to the US culture and history by both structuralist and functionalist examples, then you're probably reading an in-depth history book.
Weirdest part is those history books like to do the stereotypes a little bit more than even fiction does.
Mhm.
You know, current flavor
In
of
other
it
words-
is. Yeah, Leah?
No, go on. No, go on, Humble. Finish. It's no big deal. Go ahead.
The history books, they love the screw America one because it's like, let's try to talk about slavery and what the Americans did to the Indians. Let's not talk about what the Indians did to the Quakers and all this other stuff because they're trying to paint a picture, but they aren't really painting a picture. They're basically smearing a paint on their faces and then slathering their face across a bulletin board.
You know what I call those? The voice
Messy.
of the losers. The voice of losers. Because only losers think of loss.
Hmm.
They don't think about winning. They always think about losing and those who lost. Yeah, sure. That's not to say I'm going to be ignorant of terrible things being done on this country. That's not where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from is we are moving past the atrocities, past the we're moving past the bad times. We're trying to move forward to create good times, and we're in a delicate opportunity to build good times. In other words, what's that saying? Hard man create good times or peaceful times. Okay.
I know what you're talking about. What is it now? Is it? I
I'm
know
in
that
lyric
quote.
today.
Somebody.
Hard times create good men create good times create soft men.
Soft men create hard times. It's a vicious cycle, everybody. It's like poetry. It just rhymes. But no, like I always try to look at it as we're in a present time where we can still fight for change. We can still try to grow together, no matter what our circumstances is. No matter what, you can't keep constantly thinking about what is it that America lost, and that goes for both sides, mind you. What America lost, and what you really need to be thinking about is what can America win. You know, while the losers are constantly thinking about the loss. We, on the other hand, us normal, no matter no matter where we lean on, the winners that think about winning, always thinking about what can we do to improve, what can we do better, what can we do to not let this happen again, right?
Mm-hmm.
The losers will constantly think about, well, it's always going to be this way. It's always going to be a loss. There's always going to be consequences. Okay, that is true. But to constantly think about that, it's going to create an indecisive being within you, or an indecisive mindset. I mean, you're going to be spending more time thinking about whether or not you should or shouldn't do, or what can you do, and then once the thing has happened and you made no choice, you're going to be killing yourself over the fact that you did nothing, or rather, you'll be blind and ignorant to the fact that you did nothing, and still try to paint yourself as the one that can fix everything. But really, if you're so much the one that can fix everything, why are you still a loser?
And this
And
is
why you still
why
have a loser mindset?
this is why there's a saying: you have to pick your battles.
That and and really drop the defeatist mindset if you're gonna try to do anything, because that don't go in that doesn't walk hand in hand with a winner or even a winner mindset.
Yeah,
A
because it never
bean
does. Because, like I
drenched
said, pick your battles.
A being drenched in cynicism and nihilism refuses to acknowledge the light at the end of the tunnel, as said by Dominic Comic Wiz Powell.
And I agree with him because I'm seeing more and more people like this. You ever been around somebody who can't see the good in anything? God, it's God forgive me. I have to separate myself from them people. Whether
It
you're
is-
in real life or media or social media or TikTok or YouTube or a YouTube channel where you have someone who just constantly only sees what Dom just described, negative, or sees that no good will ever happen. You're a victim and you will always be a victim. And that's the kind of mentality that some people are spreading right now to connect to Dom's earlier comment, even with kids. You know, they're already getting in their head that if you're of a certain color or race or gender or sexuality, you're a victim and nothing good is going to come for you.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
it's just that the place I'd seen that void of depression mindset had been TikTok.
Mhm.
I don't have TikTok
not-
myself, but when it gets bad enough and it ends up on YouTube, people like to talk about it. I'd been playing podcasts while writing or doing some drawing, and one of the things they ended up talking about was book talk, and they were wanting to not do sexy covers on romance novels.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear
Like
Lord.
no chest and no
Challenge
jiggle
level
physics
impossible.
or something. And I'm like, dude, that is how you literally sell the book.
Challenge level impossible, because they know they're gonna throw it in. They're gonna put it in there anyways. They say they're not gonna do it, but they are gonna do it regardless. Because they like their hot men. They like their what was it that Fiona said? What did she call them? Torso books. Yeah, torso
Floating
books.
ab book.
Yes.
It's
Floating ab
funny
books,
because
right.
Anita Blake's initials just are ab, and when you read the comic, lots of her harem was drawn especially sexy.
Mm-hmm. But that's for another talk.
Yeah.
What American
We'll
stuff that
touch
you guys
beauty
enjoy?
in a future summer episode of The Real Millennials after next Thursday's
Come on, I'm
episode.
asking you guys what American content and fiction you enjoy.
Fearsome Critters.
Fearsome Critters.
It was a series of tales that lumberjacks would entertain each other with, and they got a contest to see who could tell the most, who could tell the craziest story. Like, for example, in the Colorado one, they have one here called the Slide Rock Bolter. In the mountains of Colorado, where in summer the woods are becoming infested with tourists, much uneasiness has been caused by the presence of the Slide Rock Bolter. This frightful animal only lives in the steepest mountain country where the slopes are greater than 45 degrees. It has an immense head with small eyes and a mouth somewhat on the order of sculpin, running back beyond its ears. The tail consists of a divided flipper with enormous grab hooks which it fastens over the crest of the mountains on the ridge, often remaining there motionless for days at a time, watching the gulch for tourists or any other hapless creature that may enter it. At the right moment after sighting a tourist, it will lift its tail, thus loosening its hold on the mountain, with its small eyes riveted on the poor unfortunate, and drooling thin skid grease from the corners of its mouth, which greatly accelerate its speed. The bolter comes down like a toboggan, scooping in its victim as it goes in its own impetuous carrying up the next slope, where again it slats its tail over the ridge and waits. Whole parties of tourists are reported to have been engulfed at one swoop by a slide rock bolter. And guides are becoming cautious about taking parties far back into the hills. The animal is a menace to tourists, but to the woods as well. Many drew through spruce-covered slopes that had been laid low, the trees being knocked out by the roots or mowed off by a scythe where the bolter has crashed through the peaks. A forest ranger whose district includes Ruff County between Ophir Peaks and Lizard Head conceived the bold idea by decoying a slide rock bolter into its own destruction. A dummy tourist was rigged up with plaid Norfolk jacket, knee breeches, and a guidebook to Colorado. It was then filled full of giant powder and fulminate caps and posted in a conspicuous space where, sure enough, the next day it attracted the attention of a bolter, which had been hanging on for days on the slope of Lizard Head. The resulting explosion flattened half of the buildings in Rico, which would never rebuilt, and the surrounding hills flattened rocks of buzzards the rest of the summer.
Hey, what? It's a good story.
Yes.
She
I've never heard this. It's new to me.
She eloquently read it without missing a beat. Nope. No long pauses. Nada. Good job, Humble. Where you find this story?
It is called It is called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods, with a few deserts and mountain beasts.
Gotcha. I'll have to look that up one day. Who's next?
Well, I was waiting for final, but my view of patriotism as country, of course, and I think it's important, is through the legacy and the mythology of Captain America. And just like you talked about Paul Bunyan and John Henry, in the comic book world, Captain America, it is very important, very vital that we keep his legacy and memory alive, because I feel like it's under attack. But particularly the three Cap movies, nothing says patriotism and American spirit more than this character. And not only in the comics, where he first got it started, was he created during, for World War II, but also as he was brought to life on the big screen. The values and characteristics of Steve Rogers is something we should carry. It carries the American spirit. And the American spirit is something to be proud of. Now, it's not saying that he's perfect, but the way he carries himself and his values very much speaks a lot to us, particularly in the first film, The First Avenger, which is his origin story. And in the origin story, we see how he became who he was and the timing of the story. The story takes place during World War II, where there was a real hype of patriotism for America as we were involved in this World War and we were battling the IATSEs, if I could so eloquently say.
Yeah.
And
Nazis.
Can I say that or did I say it wrong?
Nazis.
I just don't want you. Okay. Well, goodness, okay. I don't want you to get
Super duper extraordinary. The Nazis runs around in underwear. The Nazis.
When I just don't want you to get monetized. That's all. When I saw it, okay. Just making sure. The reason that I want to focus on the first one, and I know we talk a lot about Winter Soldier, but it's still good, and Civil War as well. That's talked about. But the first one I want to go back to because, first of all, I think it's criminally underrated. I think people need to go back and look back at that film because that is one of the best the MCU ever did. Now, that's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people maybe see it differently. You may see Iron Man or Civil War, but I think First Avenger is Spirit. Oh, Hydra. Thank you, Final.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Did I robot?
I mean, it's always. Oh, just for only a brief moment. But you're fine now.
Am I fine now? Okay. Let me know if I'm roboting. Well, I was talking about the First Avenger, and I was talking about how it is one of the best films to come out of the MCU, particularly. A lot of people, may feel differently. Maybe you feel that way about Iron Man, or maybe you think Civil War is. But I think First Avenger is criminally underrated because when you come out of that movie, you feel, I guess, energized. You do feel proud, maybe because of the score, the music, the soundtrack fits so well. And it's not just about the American spirit, it's just about the spirit of being a human being because of all that he goes through, his journey in that first film, and what he stands for, and the fact that despite he's very ill and he's very sickly, he really wants to help. He really wants to fight for his nation, despite the fact that he is ill and he's sickly. And at first he's told no. He's told no a lot. As we all know, he's bullied, he's beaten up. The ladies don't pay him any attention. He's not the matinee, good-looking idols that most of them look attracted to. So he doesn't have all that at first. And then, of course, after the serum, everything changes. But he does not change. He still stays the same with his cores and with his values, even when he's battling Hydra, which is 100% different. Because these days, it seems like people want to identify more with Hydra than they do with him. And I just don't understand why, in this day and age, what he stands for is looked upon as bad. It doesn't. It isn't. It's just, and I think we need those values back in how we treat one another. Because, like you said, we have our flaws here in America, but we also have things about us that are good, that we need to hang on to. And he believes in people, and he believes in doing the right thing, even if that right thing may cause him to clash or cause a disagreement or maybe leave him a loner. He may be isolated in his own way of thinking, but he still stands for it and believes on it. He doesn't push it off. That's the thing you got to look at here. He doesn't push his patriotism off on anybody. He's not grabbing you by the throat to follow him. He makes you follow him. And you have the choice to follow him, but you have your free will to do that. But he's sort of like he inspires you and not push it off on you. When I look at the characters he comes in contact with, he inspires them to be the best they want to be, and to, even when they may feel some of his values are old-fashioned. In Winter Soldier, we see that because his view of the world is now fighting up against what the world is now. He believes the world as it should be, not for what it is. Mm-hmm. So that makes him clash a lot with S.H.I.E.L.D., with Nick Fury, maybe other Avengers, because he even though he's from another time. I just say that.
A man out of time, but yeah.
A man out of time. And I always hate that. I hate to take that phrase because I think that the values he carries, we've lost.
I mean, he's called a man out of time. He's been frozen for almost however long was since before he came back in Avengers. Because I know he said 70 years in the MCU.
Yeah, over 70
years. It's a vague amount of years. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it depends on when he was born and when he was thawed.
Well, he was thawed. Yeah, you have to look at that. So I usually look at the date of the first Avenger movie, the ending of the first Avenger movie, and it's 20. I forgot that year, and that's how I just calculate. Because at that time it was 75. It was over 70 years at the time of the ending of the first Avenger when he wakes up. It was over 70 years. But here's my thing: his values to me are not old-fashioned. They aren't something that, okay, that was 1930 something. This is now 2000. Everything he stands for should be in a bottle and tossed away. I don't think that's the case. I think what he represents and stands for is to show us who we should be and we're not. And I think there's a facet of people that don't want that because maybe they see it as old-fashioned, maybe they see it's not working, or maybe they just don't want to improve themselves. They don't want to.
They never put it to practice, never attempted it. Plus it's come from people, most, not all, most that have a very intense hatred towards their parents and I'm talking about the ones that are doing right by them as well.
Mm-hmm.
We got
Oh, I would.
we got to face the facts here too. Is the fact that there's some people that are enamored with doing the wrong thing or not doing anything at all because it ensures them to live longer and live a more satisfied lifestyle, and it's all about their satisfaction. Unfortunately, whether or not they're satisfied, whether or not they feel right. That's why you have people that are trying to quote unquote find themselves, trying to explore themselves, or
And yet you're going nowhere with that.
Mm.
and look down upon people who live fulfilled lives, be it the traditional way or the libertarian way, or even whoever has managed to successfully live their lives, live a fulfilled life through their belief system, and actually see it through with their actions, saw it through with their actions. Excuse me, saw it through with their actions. Who 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 have come to lived a comfortable life with that actuation, with 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 that self secured mindset. Y'all feel me?
Mm-hmm.
We're basically in a war. Call it culture war or what have you, but we're now in a war between those who have lived a fulfilling life and want to keep it that way, and those who are not living a fulfilling life but want to take from those who have fulfillment, who also have the gall, who have the gall to insult those who live a fulfilling life, and yet they're trying to take from those who are fulfilled. Can y'all believe that?
I can't, because that actually sounds like that sounds like the plot from a manhwa.
It's the plot of the grasshopper and the ant. Loosely, loosely.
Oh, I'm seeing that a lot. What you're just explaining, I'm seeing that a lot. Instead of finding fulfillment with their own selves, they're too busy concentrating on those who do, and they want to take it from them. Instead of finding their own fulfillment, you can find your own fulfillment. The biggest mistake you can make is focusing your life and your passion on taking it from others. That's
Okay,
where the
that
disappointment is.
train of thought actually is a downward spiral.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're seeing right now. It is. It does not produce any good fruit. It
They
doesn't. It does
demand,
not.
they demand, they bitch, and they try to shout at anybody with a fulfilled life to take in order to take what they have. And their word usage, it always kills me every single time when I hear people say this stuff about those who live fulfilled, content, comfortable lives, where they they're trying to tell the fulfilled ones that it's their duty to help them out. But look at what they're doing. They're either in a corporate job, probably don't even do anything for themselves, let alone build a house or invest in their finances, that sort of thing.
I'd rather focus on some of the positive American stuff, like, for example, Common America, which is a current comic that is carrying on those American values.
We're swinging around to it soon, humble. Stay
But
with me.
just while we're on
Well,
the subject of Captain America, allow me to quote from Dr. Erkson. A strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power, but a weak man knows the value of strength and knows compassion. Whatever happens, tomorrow you must promise me one thing, that you will stay who you are, Not a perfect soldier, but a good man.
Mhm.
I love that scene, Final. Thank you for reading that. I love that scene and I love that speech because it defies who he is. One thing that is said about Steve Rogers when you go back to phase one, he is where all of the other Avenger characters have to get to. Thor has to learn the lesson to get there. Tony has to learn the lesson to get there. But he is already there. And I think that I love that speech because that is something that defies who he is. Like you exactly said, no matter what he, if you look at the three, and I'm focusing specifically on the three movies. I'm not talking about the team up films right now. My
Right.
focus is
Although
in
Civil
those
War is
three
kind
films.
of a team-up film, because really it should have been called Avengers 2.5.
I so agree with you. I so agree with you, Final. That is so true. I still feel that way to this day. And that's why I feel cheated because I really feel like Cap never really got three movies. Civil War was more like an Avengers film. So he never really got a three
This is what
picture
happens.
trilogy.
This is what happens when you listen to the people who braid to the heavens about other superheroes showing up in the standalone movies. Now y'all want to bitch that it ceases to be a standalone movie and should have been an Avengers movie.
Yeah, because that's over the years. I keep that's why I said it's always a mixed emotion film with me. Like, is it really is Steve
I'm not
Rogers?
throwing that towards you, Leia, by the way.
I know.
You know, in the session of the MCU, everybody's always like, "Well, where's Captain America in all this? Or where's Thor in all this?" Like, shut up, please, because I don't want to hear that shit no more. No more. Now that y'all make that same bullshit argument about Captain America: Civil War, you got the heroes in a standalone movie, a lot of them, and now y'all want to bitch that he don't have a standalone movie. It's now an Avengers movie. See, this is why I was against the bullshit. I was against it. I was against it. Every time people talk about, well, Captain America should show up in Iron Man 3. He should have shown up. Or when why didn't Thor show up?
In a
Why not?
standalone,
Why should
in a
they?
standalone film for two respective superheroes that he just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, why should he?
Hmm.
Why should any of them show up in Iron Man 3? Yes, Grant, the obvious answer would be because that's their friend, partner, you know, and they could be able to assist them had they got there in time. They were tied to missions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is this: if said superheroes did show up out of nowhere as a cameo, even, and you get mad and call it an Avengers movie, at this point, I don't want to hear it. None of it. No, we gave you what you wanted. We gave you what you want to see. Now you still want to complain. You was not satisfied. You just want to complain for the sake of complaining at this point. I'm gonna say it like this: Captain America: Civil War isn't an Avengers movie. It's a standalone movie that just so happens to feature all the Avengers. Okay?
Okay.
It is all about Captain America and his inability to compromise. It just so happens that that the Avengers altogether, they had their own decisions, but altogether on the whole, Captain America did not compromise. Yes, granted, it should have been called Avengers Civil War, but I will stand by that. It is true to his heart, Captain America's story, because it was focused on Captain America. It began with Captain America. It ended with Captain America. Everybody else was just along for the ride. If it ended on the Avengers, yes, you can make that argument. Yes, you can make that complaint. But it did not. Did it? It ended on Steve showing up at the end. It didn't even end on Tony. It just so happened to show him. You know? just to bookend his whole arc. A tragic arc at that. Very tragic arc. But on the whole, it is a Captain America movie that just so happened to star the Avengers. Okay? Ain't no Avengers starring Captain America. No, it is still Captain America. Because half the time, no, not half the time, majority of the time, it was all about Captain America. Yeah, I just turned to once there.
No, I was going to let you finish before I jumped in. Because you always have more to say.
He's a friend. He's a good associate of ours. I'm like, damn, I just turned to Ronce. He might argue against me. He might say it should have been an Avengers movie, and I ain't going to speak him on that one. He'll probably tear my argument apart in a heartbeat. But I will still stand by what I said. Like it's a Captain America movie that just so happens to have the Avengers in it because the situation concerned them specifically. But on the whole, the main story was about Captain America and Bucky.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Leia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you so eloquently putting it because I want to let you finish. And I was going to say, yes, it is about when you say it's willingness to not compromise, whether how you look at it or not. You can look at it as a that can be a negative trait, but it also can define the character and the sacrifice you make when you really truly believe in something. And that may alienate you. That may make you a loner. That may make you stand on the outside. But all to the end,
everything that
he went through. By it.
Everything that he went through in the MCU Civil War was pretty much everything that he's went through before since the Civil War. Not saying that's really much of a negative, because it's mainly concerning governments that Steve's known pretty much not to trust. Because going to his argument with Nick Fury, it's saying that we have all this just for the sake of protection when it's heavily armed to a T, and he goes, that's not protection, that is fear, and you just don't trust someone. Yet Nick Fury claps back with saying, last time I trust someone, I lost an eye.
Well, we know how that went. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No,
it's true, but in the private
I
chat.
guess we could say he's not a cat person.
Oh God, don't even bring up that movie.
No.
Works for me.
I was I was reading Dom's comment.
Oh, I'm about to read right now.
Okay.
The manga Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, Hajime no Ippo, Superman, Hitman, Moscow on the Hudson, featuring Robin Williams. The first example features the titular rock band from Japan trying to make it in America. The country is portrayed in a realistic manner, but the mangaka Hiro Sakuishi never portrayed it in flavor two. Hajime no Ippo and Superman have a nuanced view of America. About Flavor 3, like the Captain America comics. The titular Hitman, Tommy Monahan, generally respects and idolizes Superman for what he does and represents throughout the comic book series. The views of immigrants, longtime residents, and visitors to the States notice and decry the Flavor 2 F America parts of America, while also loving the place. Dara said I'll give you another example of partial type 2 Taxi Driver. Y'all never seen it, have y'all?
I have.
I've seen
Gunsmith
Cats.
I saw it once. It's not one of my favorite pictures, but I did see. It's been a long time since I've seen it, to be honest.
Kind of cruel irony that Robert De Niro was playing it, despite the fact that there's some shit about him that we're still. And he's playing opposite to a then 13, 14-year-old Jodie Foster.
Yeah, she was around 13 to 14. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well, Little Girls is not his speed, actually. I kid. Man had a kid at 72 years old. Can you believe that motherfucker soldier still stand?
Oh my Lord, have mercy.
I mean, that's an accomplishment, homie. That I will give you respect. Fuck you, but that's one thing I will give you respect on. Your soldier still standing at 72. Jesus Christ.
Oh my Lord.
He on baby number 6 or 8. He had a lot of kids.
Wow, so
Let's
he could
just say
still
that.
make Woody Tin Hot?
Yeah. This man ain't showing. This man is not shooting blanks, y'all. Wow. Or dust, for that matter. I wonder how that kid's gonna be functioning once he comes into this world. Oh my goodness. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared because I'm gonna laugh, and I know I shouldn't laugh, but I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's not malicious. It is not gonna be malicious. It's just gonna be reaction, mostly reaction.
Okay.
If that kid get born
Oh my
lopsided on one part of his
Oh,
body,
Wolf.
be,
Oh my.
what's going on?
Oh, you can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh.
I thought somebody was acting a fool in the damn chat. I got regulate. Don't scare me like that, girl. About to almost made my heart skip a beat. What's wrong with you, Leia? I'm just saying, man. If the kid got one little eye and one flat nose, my body will not contain.
Oh my
itself.
God. Oh my God.
And like I said, it's not that I'm trying to make fun of the little baby. I'm not. I just know that if I see it, it's gonna make me laugh. I'm sorry.
Oh God.
It's not malicious. It's gonna be a reaction mostly. Y'all can forgive me. Y'all can hate me. Y'all can lynch me if y'all want to. Just know. Just know. Just know. It was not out of maliciousness. That's all you need to know.
Moscow the Hudson is a coming to America story which also does flavor 3. Williams' character Vladimir sees the good and bad aspects of the states, but its ending has a hopeful note. Say what you will about Garth Ennis and his take on superheroes, he actually has a healthy respect for our country, no matter how boneheaded he is.
What's up, Gorilla Legends? Stick around. You must be new.
I got catfished by the thumbnail.
I bet you did. I was about to say, I know that thumbnail's going to get a lot.
Need to be off. Take care and God bless. Well, God bless you too, Samuel.
God bless.
I saw that thumbnail. God bless. I saw that thumbnail. I said, "Oh, Wolf, up to his bad boy antics." I said, "Again, that should get a good audience."
I mean, I'm a capitalist, and capitalism says sex sells.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Because it's on all your thumbnails.
I'm trying to learn how to do marketing. You know.
Well, so far it's working.
I mean, we got 9 people watching so far.
It worked.
Mhm.
I knew it would work. I said, then it worked. I'm not doubting you.
I don't know
Wolf.
if somebody
I'm not
came for the
doubting you.
tits or came to hear what we had to say about America.
Well, you
Mm.
Came for the tits, stay for the American lesson, or you guys babbling on, because that's entertainment to some degree.
Mm.
Look, I'm trying to be modest here, okay?
No, I believe you.
I ain't saying I'm a genius or a scholar. This makes me sound like a damn ignorant redneck.
Hmm?
I'm trying to be a comedian here.
Okay.
But do you
I'm
all
like-
follow me?
I'm not smart. I'm not a scholar. I'm just a man. A man. Yeah, we can talk about some crazy caricature portrayals of Americans in America. Y'all remember those?
Before we move on,
Yeah.
Tell
from
Oh,
SD
don't let-
Gundam when they had the guy that represented America.
Before we move on, does everybody understand why my explanation of patriotism in Captain America? And I just wanted to say, first of all, I love that he wears red, white, and blue and the shield because everybody knows that shield is associated to him. But the reason I say it is because we need to keep his spirit alive. I feel like there are those that want to crush his spirit. Those, I mean, the whack nuts over at Disney now that I have found recently that want
Warren
to
is
crush
cat.
his spirit and what he stands for. And it doesn't.
Leia.
It,
Uh,
what is it?
it's not just Cap. It's our country itself.
Okay, all right, I'll
Cap,
take that.
Cap is the embodiment for sure, but we ourselves have to make sure we keep those values alive and follow them to a T. Try our best to do so as well.
Mhm.
The life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I mean by fulfilled. When people live a fulfilled life, that's the pursuit of happiness because you are pursuing your happiness. You're pursuing what will make you happy, though that achievement to that degree, to that journey, is not always given to you. It's not going to be given to you for free. For one, it's not going to be easy. For two, and it's not going to just happen at a fast rate as you want to believe. That's the reality in the situation itself. It's like who you were talking about in the green room about this successful restaurant owner.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how long it took for him to even get that. Did you ever ask him?
He said about 10 years because he said he's been at it. Let's see, when I moved over here, I would say close to 10 years. I've seen him, but he just recently finally got his own restaurant. But when I first met him about 6 years ago, he said that's what his ultimate goal was. Because right now he was just catering to business. His ultimate goal was to have his own restaurant and then take it nationwide. And I think he's finally got his own restaurant. But it took him about, I've known him for 6, but I think he was at it for about a good 10 years or so. I could be exaggerating, but he just recently got his own restaurant. But that was always his goal. He started off as a vendor at he worked Tiger Stadium, he worked Little Caesars, he worked at the courthouse where I worked at. So he was out there all the time, and then I would see him in this neighborhood. He started off as a vendor, but I would always meet him, and I told him how good the hot dogs were. But he said, "I just don't want to be a vendor. I want to take this into a restaurant of my own, and then nationwide chains." So that's what he told me when I first met him. So I would say maybe
So it
6
means
to
to be an
9.
American.
Yeah. And he still goes out to, yeah, he still he vendors at Tiger. He told me some days he vendors at Tiger Stadium. It brought in extra cash to get to where he wanted to be.
That's what it means to be an American.
Yeah.
Right there.
I was happy to see that. 'Cause-
But also, Superman also embodies the American dream. Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay.
She's reading Dom's comment.
Okay.
Not just Steve, but Superman also embodies the American dream. Team America is also Flavor 3, funnily enough. Oh, absolutely, dude.
More on
Totally
that
agree,
later.
Dom.
Well, one of my
We'll bring that one up.
one of my favorite things that's been happening in the indie comic sphere lately is we've ended up having a lot more red, white, and blue themed characters.
In relation to America?
In
Because
relation to America.
Yeah, because I know a lot of flags, not just our country, but a lot of flags carried red, white, and blue. France has that. Britain. Really, a lot of them do.
Well, we've gotten a lot more American flag themed characters. You got the whole entire gambit between all 3 of them, especially the Fluff Yeah America, and personally, I think my favorite iteration ended up being one that was called Eagle Face, because he's basically a superhero with an eagle for a face.
Briefly, touch upon every other country's portrayal of Americans, which specifically let's go with Japan, our favorite friend to talk about. And my goodness, they have us in Xerox,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the olden days, the olden days of like during the 90s.
Uh-huh.
Every American, blonde hair, blue eye, ponytail,
Usually. And I say
usually.
usually because there are a few exceptions. One section. Joseph Joestar. JoJo Part 2. And
Yeah.
Joseph is a Brit though, half Brit.
oh yeah, he definitely is, but yet it said that it's said that he's an American because, well, he was born but he was raised in America.
Right.
Right.
You're
But yeah,
correct.
you're right. He is also a Brit.
No, he actually counts, but like I'm mostly thinking about Terry Bogard and Andy Bogard from
Oh yeah.
Fatal
Oh
Fury.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Same thing with Ken. Though Ken is more the sort of their version of the mullet wearing American, even though he's not wearing a mullet.
Mm.
It's just that's usually their go-to hairstyle for when they want to portray the American with the mullet. I've noticed that. I've seen the pattern. It's him, Ryo Sakazaki. Even though he's clearly Japanese, but he just so happens to be blonde as well. But then again, he's our stand-in for Ryu and Ken.
Mm.
SNK's kind of stand-in for Ryu and Ken, and apparently
Yeah.
people like him though. Still,
Mm-hmm.
he's a fan favorite. Gaio.
Oh yeah.
Gaio is a whole unique flavor of American design from the Japanese, because his hairstyle, my goodness, I don't even know what inspired them for that one.
I have no freaking clue.
Maybe it's the military haircut that they saw our military wear, or maybe the American portrayals of soldiers. Probably Chuck Norris, maybe. I don't know, man. I'm like, what possessed him to design his hair like that? And not a bad thing.
Though it does
It's
clash
very,
with
very iconic.
Charlie Nash's hair.
Charlie Nash is okay. Anybody can style their hair like that. Not exaggerate like that, but they can style it like that. My thing is Guile. My goodness. Guile.
I thought Charlie Nash's hair is like that just to clash with Guile.
Mostly, yeah. Fun fact. Even though Charlie is younger than Guile, he's actually Guile's master.
Oh, he was also the inspiration for Rudolph von Stroheim in Battle Tendency. Oh yeah, you're right! You're right, he is like that, because he has that similar hair. Oh my god.
Oh wow. That's right. Oh, who was he? He was a super soldier, right?
Well, he was a cyborg.
Yeah, cyborg super soldier. The German cyborg super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, yeah, that's a fun fact I learned through Thorgy Arcade that. Yeah, we brought up Ken Masters, Dom.
Yeah.
Briefly, but Charlie Nash is the master of Guile. Guile's the student, despite him being older than Charlie. Yeah, you think he created the Sonic Boom move? No, Charlie taught him that move.
Nice.
And now you know why. Charlie one arms his Sonic Boom, and Guile two arms it. Think about it like that. Charlie is the master, so he shoots it with one arm. Guile is the student; he shoots it with two arms.
When you're talking about Japan's Trail of Americans, the one guy that keeps coming to mind for me is Jibity Crockett from the Gundam series.
Mobile Fire G Gundam.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites. Along with Domon and what was his name? Russian prisoner. What was his name again? Don't tell me. Come on, Humble. You should know.
Argo Gulski?
Yeah. Yeah, he was my favorite. Mostly because he's a prisoner with an explosive device on his chest. Yeah, he's piloting a Gundam.
So a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
No, it's more of if you get out of line, we'll blow you up. But there's still the off chance where he can bend that in a way.
Mm-hmm.
He just gotta get close. He's just gotta get close enough with his Gundam. Assuming it doesn't take a lifetime for him to swing that wrecking ball at them.
I wonder who pilots that Tequila Gundam, though.
Oh, I forgot his name. And that sucks about the other Gundam fighters from other nations. They're so one-off, you don't remember their names that much. You just only know the Shuffle Alliance names.
Yeah.
Well, I only know a few of them.
I think that's kind of a choice by design because if everyone had distinct personality, you wouldn't really recognize the characters as often because that does tend to happen sometimes.
True.
Rocky Roads, the rooster from Chicken Run, is another example of Flavor 1 Ecoland. The film is set in Britain post-World War II.
Mm-hmm. Chicken Run, oh my goodness. Chicken Run is the great escape.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Claymation. I had not seen The Great Escape and I knew it was about The Great Escape. It was inspired by The Great Escape. That's interesting.
And it reminds me of when they did the airline safety demonstration for their giant airship thingy.
Real quick. Don brought up Team America World Police. Jesus Christ. That is the most greatest American entertainment to grace our land.
Hmm.
Come on. Y'all don't remember anything from that movie?
The
What
title?
movie are you-
Nuts.
Except for the theme
What?
song? Team America World Police.
I haven't seen it in a while. I know what you're talking about, but I gotta be honest, I haven't seen it in a while. It's
Yeah,
one of those
it's a
guilty
movie.
pleasure. I'm sorry
Guilty.
you're disappointed, but it's
Guilty
one of those.
pleasure, she says.
I know what
I'll
you're
make it more
talking about.
hurt.
Is that the one with the creepy looking puppets?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm what you're feeling.
Oh, I'm
That
so glad I
one.
dodged that bullet.
I couldn't finish it.
Oh, wow. Really? What?
It would be fun, but they were a little visceral with the vomit scene.
Oh yeah.
That's where you tapped out. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I think that's probably where I would have tapped out too. But I was like, let me see this to the end.
I am so glad I dodged that bullet.
Oh, thank oh
Yes,
no.
Final.
Oh no. No, you only scratched the surface, sir. You come back to me if you ever watched the director's cut.
Again, not going that route.
Because Jesus Christ, the vomit scene. If you watch the theatrical version, the vomit scene is longer in the director's cut, and thank goodness I don't own that cut because that's where I would have literally tapped out. It's like you thought he went too long. Oh no, he had buckets upon buckets of vomit in the.
Oh my
director's cut.
god. I don't need to see that. That's going a little overboard.
Wow.
I mean, that is if you make it past the sex scene, which is incredibly much more longer in the director's cut.
There is a sex scene?
How the hell you not gonna know there's a sex scene in Team America World Police? What version of were you watching?
The one where I was channel flipping at the crack of dawn when everyone else was asleep. I saw the puppets vomiting and I noped out.
So you didn't watch it. You just happened upon a scene and you flipped to the next one. You were basically in the middle, which was leading up to the final act. But yeah, there's a sex scene in that movie, and oh my goodness, they went further in the director's cut. They scratched a lot of fetishes in that sex scene. And I was like, yeah, I'd rather own the theatrical cut.
I'll quote final on that one. I'm glad I dodged that bullet.
Just don't watch the director's cut.
Ugh.
Again, I'm not
They-
insisting on going down that path of watching
I'm
that
just
film at
saying.
all.
I'm just saying to use the newest generation lingo, they have no chill in the director's cut. No chill whatsoever. And it's amazing, but I'm not gonna watch it. I am perfectly fine with the theatrical because that is minimal compared to the director's. Oh my goodness. And the reason why the sex scene happens is because it's parodying American movies or action movies that has love scenes out of the blue, and the music accompanying the scene, because you're only a woman. That be rolling. Oh, what was the lyrics? I'm not gonna sing them, but I'm gonna read them though. Oh, that was fucking hilarious.
But may I actually get into some American heroes I would like to bring up?
Give me a
Yes,
minute.
final.
Give me a minute.
Mhm.
Let me have this one.
Oh,
Let me have this
freaking
one.
damn it.
Please let me have this one.
Like I
I'm not
said,
gonna
Team
sing it.
America is flavor 3 because the South Park creators, Trey and Matt, love and respect America while also taking jabs at everyone and everything.
Yep, even Michael Moore, that dipshit conspiracy theorist, who looks like he should be in jail for holding child pornography.
Oh, that I didn't know.
I didn't say he had it. I'm saying he looks it.
I
He-
see what you're
He
saying.
looks like he's always in possession of child pornography. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
While trying to
Okay.
expose America, especially 9/11. Jesus Christ, that Fahrenheit 9/11 was, oh god, my mom was so into that, and I'm just sitting here just looking in disgust. Even though I hated Bush at that time, this was ridiculous. So the song goes like this: I need this, I love you, I need you, I don't need one heartbeat, I need two. There's an emptiness I need to feel, and only one instance will do. Only a woman can brighten up my day. Only a woman can touch me the right way. Only a woman is allowed to touch me there. All I ask that you're a woman.
That's interesting.
Oh, it gets better. I like Ray. I like him. I like you. You're around. You're right here. So you'll do. I want to tell you how much I love your body, but it simply isn't true.
Star
Only woman-
Storyteller! She's in the chat right now.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Hi, Star.
Did you like Team America World Police?
Oh, God.
Poor final.
Night, William, by the way. Like I said, Team America is flavor 3 because South Park creators Trey and Matt love. Oh, he already said that. One of my favorite moments from Team America is Durka Bakalaka Durka. She's out saying cuts, but not the whole. Oh my goodness, guys! Why y'all? Is this Kick Trey and Matt in the Ding Ding Day? I'm sure they're not your flavor. I'm sure you've seen at least some of their comedy.
South Park.
Yes, I've seen episodes of South Park, of course.
Okay,
Favorite American heroes
go
and
on.
heroes inspired by America. Go. Okay. It's really a lot of frontiersman characters because this is one particular type of genre I like to bring up. And one frontiersman in particular, Hawkeye, from the
Hmm.
Mohicans, not the Marvel Comics Hawkeye.
Mhm.
Okay.
Neat.
The whole function of the whole function of the frontiersmen is they're the ones who make the boundaries safe, whereas the trickster blurs boundaries. The frontiersman comes in and says, "Okay, we have to make that boundary safe. We're not blurring boundaries anymore." And how they do this is they set one foot one part on one part and the other foot on the other. And as for Last of the Mohicans Hawkeye, hold on, let me look some stuff up here.
Take your time.
No rush. I know Professor Geek did a great breakdown video of the Frontiersman, which I watched because that is a particular character type I'm not as knowledgeable of as some other people are. Not saying I don't like it. I don't have the knowledge of the frontiersmen because I always associated that with cowboys in the Wild West, and that's a
Oh yeah,
genre
because
that
cowboys
you know.
definitely are frontiersmen for a while. There have been
Okay,
plenty of those. Any Clint Eastwood western
yeah,
that stars Clint Eastwood, definitely that. Gunsmoke, have you ever seen that show? It's definitely that. Lone
Country
Ranger.
spots. The what you call it? The anthology movie, The Ballad of Bugsy Scroggs.
Mm.
You will need to watch it.
I know
Um,
these shows through my father. He loves westerns, and the shows that you just named, Final. He's a
Mhm.
big fan of those. Gunsmoke, he loves. I think he's got it on physical media, and the Lone Ranger is another one that he's always loved westerns.
Did y'all hear that big
Like,
one?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's fireworks going on at Leia where she's at.
Yeah, I have
No,
some
did
going
you hear
on
it from
here.
me?
Oh, that was from Wolf.
I
Oh, that
had
was from
one here
you,
too,
Wolf.
Hmm.
and I had one here. That's why I asked which one of us because they're shooting. They're still shooting fireworks where I'm at.
And what made Hawkeye in particular is much more of the greatest as one of my favorite frontiersmen is because of exactly that, because of how much he embodies that archetype in particular. Of course, there are plenty of superheroes that because there are many heroes throughout fiction are always of two different worlds. And of course, one such frontiersman in particular, Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern. And one part of Hawkeye is that this sentence actually best describes Hawkeye in The Last Mohicans, that he's a man without a cross, and it's not saying that, no, he's not a man without faith, he's saying that he's an Englishman of English blood, American blood, and yet he was raised by the Mohicans. That's what he's
Huh.
saying. Because he was born on that world, and he was also raised by the other world. It's the whole nature versus nurture kind of thing with the
Ah.
character.
I saw the movie The Last of the Mohicans. I forgot the actor's name, the lead actor's name. Cannot think of it right now. It slips my mind. But I did see the movie version of that. I think it was a novel. Was that the Mohicans a book?
Yeah, it was originally a book.
Hmm. I know it's been made. I believe it's been made in the cinema 2 times. I could be wrong, but I saw the version with this Irish actor. His name is slipping my mind. People in the chat, if you know who he is, but I can't think of his name with nothing right now. But I think he's Irish, and I did see that film. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Final, but
It's
when you
okay.
said Les the Mohicans, I that's all I know of that character of Hawkeye is that movie. And
Mhm.
yeah,
There
he
have been
wasn't
plenty of
able
others
to
that are
raise by
similar
him.
to him. Of course, we got Davy Crockett. He's a classic one at that. If there's any other frontiersman characters I could think of off the top of my head that are exactly that.
I'm gonna throw one out. Oh, go ahead, continue.
Oh, but you got one, Leia?
No, I was gonna ask Daniel Day-Lewis. Thank you, storyteller. Daniel Day-Lewis, that's his name. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw out one that I didn't think was that great, but a lot of people think so. Is Dances with Wolves about a front? Is that frontier? Does that fall in that category?
Oh yeah, that is definitely a
Okay.
frontiersman story. Definitely.
Okay. No wonder so many people like it. So many people like it.
Yeah, because there are many
Um,
stories that are always like that. Of course, yes, I already mentioned Last of the Mohicans, and yes, you already mentioned Dances with Wolves. Other stories similar to that include Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai. That is a classic one, which then bled over to other fiction, including Marvel from Marvel Comics and the whole background story of Devil May Cry, considering Sparta.
would you say the frontiersman is another symbol of American spirit or the American culture? These
Yes.
stories
Yeah.
go around the world. Okay. You both said yes.
Yeah.
I was going to let final continue.
Because it is
I don't
certainly
take over.
much more of an American archetype. It is something much more of an American archetype. Well, it's not really like
Considering
exclusively American, but it certainly comes from that.
It's too bad they never were able to get a good Lone Ranger movie. I think they could still make a good Lone Ranger film. There have been two that have been done that I know. One was in 1980, before a lot of your time, first time, and another one, the recent one with Johnny Depp. But that one fell short because I felt like it made the Lone Ranger more of a buffoon instead of really telling the story. And I was disappointed when I saw that because I felt they could do a lot better with it. There could have been the problem with that Johnny Depp film was they should have made it more like a Western. And they
Instead,
failed
we
at
get
that.
Pirates of the Caribbean in the West.
Right. Exactly.
I like
That's what it turned into.
I kind of like the radio plays a bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know about it through my dad because, again, my dad, his genre is Westerns. He loves Westerns, period. Loves Westerns. Well, loved it when he was a kid, and now as a senior, he still likes good Westerns. And yeah, the radio plays, the TV show Lone Ranger, he said, was one of his favorite. It's very interesting. My dad said cowboys are his heroes. And I found that to be very interesting, was the cowboy. He said himself, he said, it's just a masculinity I don't see anymore. And he would know because he's near 80, so he's lived a long time. But he said that the frontiersman and the cowboy is a hero that I don't see. I don't know why that faded away. He said, I still enjoy it. I still want to see it. So that was very interesting in his comment. But I still think Hollywood can get a good Lone Ranger film, but they just, I don't know why they can adopt it, because I didn't know from my father. My father said the story of the Lone Ranger was, I don't know all the way through final, maybe you know the whole story, is that somehow there was
I do know the story of the Lone Ranger because I've seen the first episode. You can watch the original series on YouTube, actually.
Yeah, he does. Oh, can you watch it? I'll tell him.
Yeah.
That some of the okay, I'll let him know that. They said to watch it. And so what's the origin of the Lone Ranger? Not the whole show, but just the origin of the Lone Ranger. I want to make sure I got it right, because I might tell it wrong.
It's a group of cowboys that were originally enforcers of the law, but then they were brought in by a group of bandits that were posing as normal citizens. They're asking for help, only then to get betrayed, and then they all got shot. And he was upon one of them, and luckily for him, he survived by going into the shade just to avoid the heat of the sun, and then was later saved by a colleague that he actually knows from the past, which happens to be Tonto. And so now he buries all the other officers that died, and now goes back to being in law enforcement with Tonto at his side, and to be the Avenger, for those to be a figure of justice for the West, to uphold the law.
Now on the TV show, what was he hunting down the men that killed him, or was he just chasing bad guys? Correct me here.
It's a little bit of both. He was chasing them down, but yes, it was chasing bad guys because he is a lawman.
Okay. See, what you did, that should have been the movie. Like you said, instead we got Pirates of the Caribbean in the West. That should have been a movie because I actually like the story. So and that's the problem why the
Mhm.
Lone Ranger movies bomb is because the studios, I don't want to get too off track, don't understand that story. That what you just read right there, that's a movie right there. Doesn't have to be 3 hours and four and they think of now. Very simple
Yeah.
story.
In
He
fact,
gets
there's also has
betrayed.
some very close ties to the Green Hornet, in fact. And I do mean very close ties to the Green Hornet.
I think I know what you're thinking, but I could. I think I know, but I could be wrong. Is it the director, one of the
Uh,
actors?
at least with there's at least some hinted at. I think it's in some of the expanded comics, or maybe it was in the. It's not stated in the show, but it's kind of stated in the comics that there's some connection with the Lone Ranger and the Green Hornet. Maybe it's because the Green
Maybe they were
Hornet is
in.
the ancestor to um the Lone Ranger himself, but yet they're two separate stories, and yet and yet they have a very similar dynamic. Because, of course, the Green Hornet is definitely the Lone Ranger, and yet Tonto's role is definitely plays out for Kato.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That was what I really was about to say. I was about to say that it ties to be Kato. And, well, maybe the people make the. I don't know exactly when the Green Hornet came out. I don't have that much knowledge about him. Maybe they were
It was somewhere
inspired by
around
the
the
Lone Ranger.
60s. Somewhere around the 60s, because I know he did
Okay.
crossovers with the 60s Batman a lot.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Well, I would like to see a proper Lone Ranger movie. And it's sad they can't put it together because what you just described. And see, I went to see that Disney Lone Ranger with Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp, but I came out there disappointed. I said, "That's not what was that? That wasn't that was not what the Lone Ranger was. That's what it should have been. What you just described is what the movie should have been. But producers' brains can't wrap their heads around it. Very simple story. What you just described, they get ambushed by the bad guys. Bad guys going away. Him and Tonto form this bond. They form this friendship, and they try to uphold the law. So that's the that's what it can be done. They just don't want to make it. But that right there, I always say, Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger never got a proper movie. Rather than about the Chick character, yeah, Child of Flower. I totally agree with you. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. But it was by Disney. And they didn't want.
Yeah.
They got to get
like
out
I
of
said,
this.
it's trying to be Pirates of the Caribbean in the West, and it had basically that formula and that same type of comedy.
Yeah, and that's why it didn't work. That's why I didn't like it. Because I didn't laugh at the jokes or anything. I said, "What is this?" It should have took itself more seriously. This is a serious Western. We're going to make this as a Western. And they didn't do that. And that was a mistake. And you got to do the film. I guess they got sensitive about the portrayal of Native Americans. They got to get it. You think, again, censorship is hindering. We all know this. I don't have to go into it.
Yeah.
Censorship is hindering them a lot. If
yeah.
you got to have Native Americans, you got to portray them as is, period. There's no getting around it.
Yeah,
no beating
in
around
fact,
the
the
bush.
Native Americans have a whole mythology that you could certainly take from.
That you could put. I was just reading what Dom was just saying here. I was going to respond. Yeah, any good representation in fiction. Tonto, Thunderbolt, Hawkeye.
Okay. Yeah, Vashti Stampede technically represents the frontiersman archetype. The Earth-like desert planet Gunsmoke is a reference to the aforementioned film. The mangaka is a huge fan of the Western genre. It says, I concur the frontiersman archetype is distinctly American, but is ultimately universal. Of course it is. And some mystery hobos say Native American Indians never had any good representation in fiction, when there's Tonto, Thunderbird, Warpath, Forge, and Hawkeye, to name several examples, has proven otherwise. And yeah, Wolf has also mentioned T-Hawk from Street Fighter, Thunderhawk.
Warpath was cool in
yeah, and another one, Nightwolf from Mortal Kombat. Certainly that.
Yeah. So there have been good, and I'll throw in, this may be cheesy, but I was going to mention this as an honorable mention, Pocahontas. I like Pocahontas.
Certainly.
I like
certainly.
I like Disney's Pocahontas. That's an American folklore as it was when it first was released.
Yes.
Wolf
The
Are
has
you
something
trying to
say.
rub your
real,
engine, Wolf?
the real Pocahontas. The real Pocahontas. It's okay to like the Disney
I
version,
know
but
of the real Pocahontas.
remember to reference the real Pocahontas.
Well, let me say the real Pocahontas because I'm very much familiar with her story and how it actually goes. I know for a fact that she was too young to fall in love with John Smith. The real Pocahontas was just a 13-year-old girl, and John Smith was way, way much older. So that could be some romanticism when it comes to that. But I am very much aware of the story of the real Pocahontas. Yeah, that's
Some
one of the
of the
factors.
SJ hobos say Native American Indians never had any good representation in fiction. Tonto, Thunderbird, Warpath, Forge, and Hawkeye, to name several examples, has proven otherwise.
Yes, I've already mentioned
Mhm.
that before.
Yeah, he's right about that. As I was going to say, I love the way Warpath was in Days of Future Past. I was like, oh, I wish Warpath. He's pretty cool.
Well, heck, if you look at Western movies in general and the Westerns themselves, like ones by Louis L'Amour, they pretty much have covered the conflict that the settlers and the early Indians faced with each other a lot. And let's face it, it wasn't the settlers themselves that they had a beef with, it was the government that was basically trying to play chess with all these people like as pawns as a chess on a chessboard.
Absolutely.
And they never really think about the middleman of the deal. But I better stay off of that one. We're talking about American heroes. We're not talking about depressing history.
No. But I didn't want to interrupt Final. If you got more, I want to. If you got more to continue, Final. Let me. I
But
didn't
if
want to
you want to talk,
interrupt
go
you.
ahead.
No, I was just going to. If you know, that's people why they like Dances with Wolves because they like the way the Native American people were featured in that particular film. I don't know which tribe. I don't want to. I don't know if it was Cherokee or someone else, some other tribe. I can't quite remember. But there have been some that have done very good portrayals. But remember, we all, have to know there's good and bad in all cultures. There's good and bad in all cultures that we have to remember there. But the disappointment, speaking of American Legends, is we have never gotten a proper Lone Ranger film. That's very disappointing because, again, I say it can be done. They just they get stupid with it when it comes to producers are stupid. And that shows when I watched that video about Kathleen Kennedy. It breaks down what a producer does. They're dumb. And we've never got a proper one. And I know, it's going to be hard because right now there's such an anti-hero mentality going on right now in this country. And I'm trying to find the words the best to describe it, but it's like they don't want to. It seems like there's an over obsession with evil and the bad guy.
Well,
bad
no,
guy
it's
is
not
really
really
the
an
good
obsession
guy.
with evil. It's rather they've accepted of the. It's rather they embrace the mentality of a loser. And while yeah, you could argue that is more of an evil mentality because Wolf has already said this before, is because villains are evil because they are definitely losers. They've lost and they've accepted what they've lost. And someone put it best in Literature Devil's video on X-Men about a few weeks ago. And someone made a comment in that it's saying, a villain said, people have been, I can't even recall the
Is
comment.
that
I need to look
is
up
it
the.
is that a new video? Is that a recent
It is
video?
pretty recent. It was a recent
Could
video.
you
It came out a few weeks ago.
can you link that to me and MeWe? I would like
Sure,
to see
yeah.
that. Okay, I don't think I've seen it, but
I need to look
continue.
up the video itself because I need to get that comment because it said that very perfectly, and it's basically describing the dynamic between Charles Xavier and Magneto's dynamics. If I can find it.
Because I'm just going to say that it is getting on my nerves how they're making heroes evil and good. Evil, they're making they're making heroes evil and villains good. It's kind of getting on my nerves. It's really getting on my nerves that there's no consequence to an action. Don't follow any rules. I mean, it's starting to bug me a little bit with this. This is getting ridiculous. And even I saw a video on DW Pro that said over Disney World, they had no patriotic celebrations. They pride celebrations were okay, but they didn't want anything that was patriotic. 4th of July or nothing, if I remember correctly. I just recently watched it because I was going to talk a little bit about it before we started, but I didn't get a chance to finish the video. But it was very interesting at Disney what they
Found the
done.
comment. Found the comment.
Go ahead.
The world did me wrong, so I will lie, cheat, and steal to get what I deserve. Versus the hero who says, the world did me wrong, so I shall do right so others won't suffer as I have. That's the mentality. Because the villains accepted that they've already lost, and so they will go over any other path they can do in order to get exactly what they want, because that's what they think they rightfully deserve.
And see,
Oh my gosh, that's that one villain off of Paw Patrol.
And there you go.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But
that's everybody, Humble. Not just Paw Patrol, it's everybody. Go ahead, Final. I'm sorry.
But yeah, this basically described, mainly just to describe Charles Xavier and Magneto's dynamics with that, because it is talking about the truth about Stan Lee, Literature Devil commenting about the misconception about the creation of the X-Men, but that's what they accepted. They've lost. It's not really, you can argue they're accepting with more agreeable with villains, but it's not really much so with evil, but rather they're accepting more so the mentality of the loser, because they've already accepted that they've lost, and I'm not sure why. It could be a multitude of things, really. It could be because they've just given up on everything, and they've just grown lazy, they've grown complacent about everything. I'm not really sure what it could be. It really could just be in anything, but in all cases, they've already accepted that they've lost. Because let's face it, they've just given up on it. Because they think, like, what? Was it just not good enough for you? Was it not really what you were expecting? Sorry, but to quote Rocky Balboa in, was it Rocky 4? Or no, not Rocky 4. Maybe it was Rocky 6. Is it the one where he had a son? Rocky 6?
Rocky 5 or 6.
It was one of them. It was one of them that he had a son.
5.
Rocky 5. Thank you, Wolf.
Yeah.
Life ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
No. You're right. It's 6.
Oh yeah, Rocky 6. Yeah. Quote Rocky Balboa in Rocky 6. Life ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Suck it up.
See, that's what I wanted to say. First of all, Dom, I agree with your comment about Native Americans. I'll get back to that. That is something that's very true, because there was a clip that I saw from the Barbie movie, that ridiculous thing where America Ferrera's kid goes into a rant about she wants to blame men for all the atrocities. And I just want to slap her across the face and say, life is not just what you just said. Suck it up. So what? That's life. You got to learn how to deal with it. You can't put the blame on another gender, because life okay, the villain is only evil when they are hot.
The villain is the only evil when they are hot.
Child interesting. Some people may feel that way, child. I don't know if anybody's seen it. I just saw the clip on YouTube. She goes into it's basically the rant about men are the problem in the world. It's all men's fault. Men trying to tell me what to do, trying to, and everybody knows the She-Hulk rant to Bruce about she suffers more in life than she does, and Bruce just sits there and, okay, you're right. Poor little man me. No, I would have slapped her across the face, a big old slap, and said, so what? That's life. Suck it up. It happens. You're going to have to deal with it. It's got nothing to do with the gender. It's got nothing to do with race. It is life will throw you bad moments, and you have to deal with it. You cannot keep blaming everybody else for the things that happen in your life.
Yeah.
That's why I hate that Barbie movie. Because
and all the things that are responsible for your decisions and the only things that's repressing you is not the. That's gonna be safe for the Gays Then versus Gays Now stream, which that will happen next week. But I'll say this real quick. It's not the system or the patriarch of the men that's putting you down. No, it's you. You are your own worst enemy in this, and yet you keep wanting to blaming that on somebody else when the true enemy that you've been fighting against was already with you all along.
For those in the chat, if you saw the Barbie movie, you know what speech I'm talking about. I think that,
and yet you want to
actually
play up
feel
this
that way.
victim mentality, saying, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Yeah, you're making yourself the victim because you're always fighting against yourself.
Right.
And you're bleeding for a flag and fighting for a cause that you really do not believe in, and you don't even bleed for that because this is what you are, a loser. You've accepted that you've lost, and so you don't even do anything else to get yourself better, and yet you want to do that because it makes you feel good about yourself. And yet it doesn't even. This is basically the mentality of a drug addict, really. Any addict anyone who's addicted to a certain substance, porn, drugs, alcohol, take your pick. It's not going to do you any good in the long run if you just keep doing it and keep doing it. It's not going to make you tough. That's just only going to make it worse. And the best solution for that is just leave it the fuck alone.
Very true. And that is that mentality, and that's what we're fighting against. That's what we're fighting against, because, and those are the ones that are on social media making all of these videos, making all of these excuses. You guys know what it is. You know, those are the very people that Final is describing. And it's sad that Hollywood caters to these people, because to me, these people are in the wrong. They don't really go to the movies or see the shows. They sit there and they shill for it, or they make complaints about something. Those are the very people that Final just described. And that's part of. Do you think that, guys, anybody here wants to add? Does that put a dark spot on the American spirit? Do you think anybody want to say or agree? Is that a dark spot on what the American spirit should be?
They're not even the modern audience that they speak of. The modern audience is a farce, to be honest. It's more of the we the writers are the audience. We are our own audience. We're updating to people who think like us, who live like us, who believe in our cause and all that stuff. It's that this whole modern audience nonsense doesn't exist, and you guys those who are listening, got to realize that does not exist. Who is this modern audience to keep talking about? Who are they inviting? And better yet, who is what makes the modern audience? Because
casting couch.
Oh my God. Okay.
You're funny. Because last century was the modern audience. A century before that was the modern audience. And a century before that was the modern audience. And guess what happened within those centuries, right? Movies and stories kept changing. And Marty coming in hot, so say it, stars. Oh my goodness, you should have been here on Tuesday. You should have been here. But anyways.
Oh.
Well, if someone keeps asking, what's the modern audience? Well, the modern audience is a casting couch. Usually it's either, which friend am I going to invite on my way up to the top, or which legs will I get between?
Well, she's not wrong.
Please ignore the slurping in the background.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Or whether people who enable the casting couch, such as the director of Star Wars, act like light.
True. Very
True.
true.
No,
True.
to me, the modern audience does not exist.
Yeah, I don't.
It will never exist. you don't know what modern is. That's the problem. It's like you don't even know what utopia is or what utopia looks like because utopia was never achieved. Modernicity is not really something that's achievable because a lot of people have asserted themselves on what is modern.
It usually takes a team of experts to try to predict what was modern. For example, this is something my art teacher taught me. There was a committee of people wondering which way to point a Mountain Dew ball, and they decided to make it look like a morning wood of a certain 72-year-old father.
The fuck kind of art class you was into? And can I go?
A regular. I was with a very unique art teacher at one point, and he's not with us anymore, but you can find all kinds of weird stuff if you just look it up.
You have Wolf's attention.
Yeah.
I just don't have a comeback for that.
I'm shocked.
She broken me out.
But I think that's about it that we can basically talk about here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's getting kind of late. I got work tomorrow. So check out the latest video I just dropped. It's well worth the 3 minutes of laughter.
Oh my lord.
And that being said, what's done is done, and nothing cannot change that except the delete button. But I'm not going to delete it. Everybody can enjoy our zany and kookiness. That's why they're here. I thank everyone for being here. There was 10 fluctuating number constantly throughout this stream. I don't know whether or not the reason why I keep saying non-existent motherfuckers that keep popping in and out is because ahead of time I cannot tell who is a bot and who is real. You know, whether or not YouTube is gassing me up by giving me this huge number, or whether or not these are real people that actually join up and leave every once in a while, either because I'm obnoxious, or you just don't think we know any better, or whatever, or you leave because you had to go that day, and maybe you just put us on as background noise and have nothing to say or have nothing to add because we're probably taking the words right out of your mouth anyways. And that's why I say to the nonsense motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Because I don't know. YouTube's not telling me, or StreamYard is not really telling me who is a bot and who is a human. It's not like I can pull up a list of who's in here and has a screen name and who is in here as a mock name, as I like to call them. So that's why I would, just for clarity, everybody who's a dedicated watcher, that's why I say to the non-existent motherfuckers keep popping it out, because I don't know whether or not you're real or a bot. And just to clarify, I'm not talking about you, the human, when I say that. Just to let you guys know. I probably didn't even need to do all that shit. Y'all probably understood. Anyways, I tend to trust my audience intelligence, okay? I try my best to trust in y'all intelligence. And I try my best not to insult y'all intelligence either. So if there's ever a case where that happens, I do apologize. I don't mean to. Because I do love you guys. Everybody's invited to the table, and y'all want to listen or not. And this is why I'm trying to go for and go above and beyond to try to keep things spicy, unlike my compatriots who keep recycling and copy pasting. Not throwing no shade, but you know, gotta change up every once in a while. That's all I'm saying. You gotta find better examples, better frames of references, and try to acclimate and adapt. You know. adapt tactics and adapt new ways of thinking as well. It's not to say change your mind or anything or keep an open mind. What I am saying is this: learn to adapt, so you can stay ahead of the curve. Keep them on their toes. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But like I said, like thank everyone for being here. Those tend to fluctuate numbers of you and those non-existent motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Thank you so much for being here. Even though y'all should be with your families, popping fireworks and having a big ass hot dog, preferably barbecued, and a hot link at that. Hopefully y'all was at the grill earlier before y'all came up in here with your families. Which, if you did, good on you. God bless you guys. Tune in next week where I'm not sure if we're gonna tackle these machines this early. I think I'm gonna give you guys some time to watch that whole series in its entirety. I'll just handpick an anime movie that we can talk about. Maybe Secret of Neo.
Mm.
As an animation spotlight. A movie for once.
Movie for Anime Spotlight? Okay.
For once. We'll probably tackle one of those. I had a movie in my mind that I know you guys have seen that we could talk about. I gotta refocus my mind to remember what it was. But I wanted us to have a chit chat about this one. What are you gonna say, Humble?
Oh, nothing. I'd seen Child of the Flower had put up one that said your name.
The hell is that? Girl, you gotta give us a description first. If you're gonna throw some, I don't know that. What's the name? Is a
think
guy's name?
Probably
A
when you were
girl's name?
talking about when you're saying those non-existent motherfuckers that kept popping in and out.
No, your name is literally the name of a film
I know.
from 2016.
Oh,
Oh, is it recent?
Yeah,
Is it an anime?
kind of recent.
it is
yeah.
definitely it's an anime movie, and
I said
When
animation
you-
spotlight, not anime spotlight. Two separate categories.
it's a movie.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that one day. Not too
So
soon though.
get your tissues or prepare your sleep from that, cause it's depressing. That movie.
Mhm.
I was thinking about talking about Wolf Children because I've never seen Wolf Children. That's also our usual resident storyteller. I can't remember his name, but he's the one responsible for Summer Wars, Boy and the Beast, and recently we reviewed this one, Bale. That was one of his old stuff. So, thank you, my compatriots, starting with the Humble Survivors, Humble Marty.
Hello, my name is Humble Marty, and I write things. Thank you for being here today. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good jazz.
Negro, say America, fuck yeah.
Goodness.
America, heck yes.
Oh, she trying to be all quiet girl. Okay,
Well,
Humble, I see
after
you.
probably what I'd said Tuesday, I think I'd like to keep it a little bit more quiet girl indeed.
Sorry, no, sorry. Oh, your name has a hopeful ending. Final. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying it's depressing because it's pretty sad. Believe me.
I can name y'all some sad anime for sure.
But anyways, can
And since you're talking, the Warrior of Light.
I was about to
Competition-
ask, can I read for Dom? Can I read for Dom's goodbye, Wolf?
Yeah.
Go on.
Sure.
The Hound of Sardonic Pal.
Thank you everybody for enjoying our 4th of July episode of The Real Millennials. As established earlier, in spite of the mistakes our country made in the past, it moved on after learning from them. It's a net positive for the world And in the long run, stay tuned for next Thursday's episode, Gays Then versus Gays Now. This is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell, signing off, and remember, cynicism and nihilism are for losers. Keep hope, idealism, and optimism alive in the world.
Pretty
The
good.
Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Well,
We're gonna exhaust him.
that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure to ring that notification bell, that way you get notified of our latest videos. Go subscribe to Wolf10 Media if you haven't already. Go subscribe to me if you haven't already. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, let us strive every moment of our lives to make ourselves better and better to the best of our ability, that all may profit by it. Let us think of the right and lend our assistance to those who need it, with no regard for anything but justice. Let us take what comes with a smile, without loss of courage. Let us be considerate of our country, our fellow citizens, and our associates in everything we say and do. Let us do right to all, and wrong no man. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off, and remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
The lovely Leia Valor, Leia plus size.
Good evening, everyone. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor. And thank you for joining us in this discussion about America. And despite our flaws, we are still a country that you should be happy and proud of to be in. If I could leave one message with you, I will say this. In about 3 weeks from now, we're going to have the Summer Olympics. And we're going to have a very good track and field, swimming, and gymnastics team. And we're going to see the pride and the respect for America on display with this team. And we're going to see idealism and positiveness because we're going to watch American athletes who had to overcome many obstacles, whether it be personal, professional, achieve a goal of doing their best to receive a medal that they earned, not giving to them because of who they or what they are, but because of their skills and their abilities. So I hope all of you, you may not be a fan of these sports, tune in and give Team America some support, because I think that's when you truly see the best of what the American spirit is all about. Until then, we will thank you all for joining us. Please enjoy your holiday, be safe, and we'll see you next week.
This is your book commander with 10. Remind you guys once again to stand for the flag, never kneel. Show these people your American pride. Show these people your American bravery. Anytime that some idiot try to push you around to prevent you from raising your American flag, you stand your ground. Plant your feet and stand your ground. Stand up to the bullies at this point, because that's what they are, bullies. Like all of us Americans who bled for that flag all these years ago, they stood up to bullies. Just like our famous fictional American hero, Captain America, stood up to bullies. So with that being said, you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to Little Fleet.
Me and my friends get